So is that okay? So now to segue into fighting sports. So look. No?
Go ahead.
Okay, but what is this about? Like someone being a little thicker to need to have to punch him back and all that. Like, so we're talking about what is it? Paul Logan.
Logan
God
Paul.
damn it! Yeah, Jake. Man, fuck these people.
Paul Logan.
Man, whatever. Man, fuck him in the suicide forest. I hope that motherfucker. Like, fuck him, dude. Anyway, continue. I guess it's me to start this shit.
All right, so
That's funny.
So,
This man got a mutant name from X-Men.
right.
Paul Logan.
I mean, like, so I'm sorry to interchange like two of the widest first names around.
No, I feel you.
Like Jake, Jeffrey, Sean, whatever. I mean, fuck it.
Caleb.
Okay.
All right,
It's
so
always the ones with two first names.
Jimmy, Bob, Ricky, Bobby.
All right, so you think that they're ruining boxing? Fighting sports.
All right, so I feel two ways about it. I think on one end you have I heard. All right, so let me long walk this bitch. Max Kellerman said boxing should be the most popular sport that there is, but for some reason it's not. He said if you are walking on the street, you see some people playing baseball, you see some people playing basketball, you see some people playing football, you see some people fighting. What you gonna stop to watch? Fighting. Right?
Well, I'm not.
You're not?
I learned my lesson.
Nah, I feel you. Shots.
I go far away. From
But which one are you more likely to stop?
If it's guaranteed that there's not gonna be a shooting.
I don't know. I'm just walk away from that. But in the past, yeah, I feel you. I agree with you.
But which is more likely to get broken up?
The fight. Mm-hmm. But
So what?
that's only because people are afraid that it'll go to like another level, right?
Yeah, but since there's procedures and boxing, MMA, and all that shit.
Right. There are precautions. Precautions are taken. Whether that's like referees, rounds, Okay, so
that's why
rules.
there's not glass and fucking chicken wire at NBA games and spit guards and all kind of shit we were talking about last week. Okay,
Right,
it's a totally different culture.
But
Okay,
like
continue.
the glass is a part of the game in hockey. Mm-hmm.
You gotta hit that shit.
Yeah, but
It's like a forestry. It's an immovable
rules make
object.
sports. Rules make sports.
Okay.
But boxing isn't very popular because of the technical aspects of it, I would say.
It doesn't look as hard as like what's happening. Like sometimes.
I feel you.
I feel like in general, you won't be aware that like some body blows are really fucking somebody up the same way that you'll be watching like I was showing like Warrior where like there's a bunch of head shots and it's like clearly they fucked the guy up. It's like a different thing with fight sports. Like some hits don't seem like it's that big of a deal, but that was like the crushing blow.
Until they like
you
slow
don't
it
see that
down
was a
and you see the
dagger. Like
replay.
oh shit, that was the point where he didn't have any more air in him anymore. He was just fucked the fuck up. It wasn't this other uppercut. That's what led to this thing where he just like drilled him into the fucking side. You know what I mean?
No, I feel you on that.
Whereas like the clear dagger, whenever it's like, all right, the game's done in NBA, where it's like, yeah, clearly like they're 8 points. There's only like, nah, that's it.
Yeah. So
action
basically,
just
you're saying the detail or the emphasis on what finishes or what, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think it would be different if we actually saw the score as
Or felt their pain.
I think it would be different if we saw the score.
I think it would
That
be
would be
different if we saw the
crazy.
score.
Yeah. Oh, you mean like how do they tally it? Because there's in like hit.
They're tallying every hit.
Right. So like people score fights each round. There are scores. People are saying like, oh, you evaded, so you might get a point. You blocked. You got knocked down. You landed this many punches. All those things count for like a score. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So like, do you think that part of the reason why boxing is not something that casual fans can enjoy is because you don't see a score?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it's partially just you're sort of taught not to outright celebrate violence. So there's
I
part of
mean,
it.
MMA doesn't have the same issue. I feel like MMA attracts casual fans.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would still say it has a similar. That's what I was referencing was an MMA fight as opposed to box. Like, I don't know. I guess there's an end, like just like a hard. There's a crush. You don't know exactly where it's the snap, the last like little thing, but like you see somebody get crushed. Whereas boxing, I think people were almost like I feel like when I saw like Mayweather and like Pacquiao, it was almost like boring because it felt like strategically like they're just trading defense, trading, doing this. So the average person is like, dude, this is not. I thought boxing was like some Cinderella man, like I'm seeing the wrestler, somebody just get fucking destroyed. I want to see like you know what I mean, like
No, I understand.
like $1 million
boxing movies have conditioned us
there's just
to
like this
believe
point
that
where like
it's
just in the last 30
a
seconds it's
slugfest.
super epic, but you see it in reality and it's like just like a boring fireworks show. Like there's this kind of thing where it feels like it's for the average person it doesn't into it.
Yeah.
You dip into it, it's not the same as just watching like a fight. You know what I mean? Like
I do know what you mean. I think that because most people don't get into fights,
yeah,
they don't understand the
MMA was different.
mechanics of fighting. Whereas MMA is a lot more fast paced and brutal. So the fights seem to end or they end more decisively.
Yeah,
People feel more satisfied. Whereas a fight may go like 10 rounds, 15 rounds, and nobody gets knocked out, and it's like a point match where somebody wins just off of like points. And that can turn off the casual fan. Whereas in MMA, the long fights are 5 rounds, and they're like 3-minute rounds, so it's easier.
Yeah.
So I would say that maybe they should start counting the points in like a visual way. But also, the reason why I think that the Paul brothers are good for fight sports is one,
popularize it for the.
they're gonna bring in the casual fan.
It brings back
So
conversation.
many people are going to go into a Logan Paul or a Jake Paul fight because they either A, want to see them do well, or B, want to see them get knocked the fuck out. And then you also have the people that are like, yeah, I heard about this guy. He's like a YouTuber and he's fighting such and such. Maybe we should watch this.
Yeah.
On the undercard, they could put actual boxing matches with actual fighters who might not ever get that many people to watch them do anything ever in their career if they had not been on that card at the time. So you could put like actual boxing on the undercard in these circus fights.
And they'll get more attention.
And then the commentators
how
are like
often?
Jesus and Miro or Snoop
Yeah,
Dogg
but-
and shit like
okay.
that. You know what I mean?
So have like just a shake up of almost
like-
American Idol. It'll
sort of. It's like all of the attention and fun of celebrity boxing meets pop culture, but you could also wrap the vitamin in a piece of cheese, so to speak, before you feed it to the casual fans, i.e. the dogs. You know what I mean?
I want to see people sing and have people spit 16s in between.
I mean,
people get their
literally,
ass
that's
kicked.
what's happening.
I want to see gun.
They're showing like movie trailers in between fights. They're having like
should have like
fucking-
lightsaber battles
they're having
and fucking. Like,
performances. Like they had like the Migos perform
Really?
and
That's
shit.
cool.
Yeah, like they're having like musical guests and all kinds of shit in between the fights in order to like fill the time and just make it more of a spectacle. So I think that one thing that has hurt boxing has been promoters and scheduling. Whereas with this, it seems like Jake Paul had like 2 fights last year. Logan Paul just fought Floyd Mayweather. And they're having more and more fights booked. They don't seem to be running into the same issue that boxing promoters and so-called legitimate boxing runs into, which is like contracts and shit, where people are wondering like, well, how am I gonna get paid for this?
Yeah. It's interesting how much they fucking get paid per fight though.
Some of them,
But do you
some
think,
of
do you
them
think
don't make
part
shit.
Of it is that, okay, so what I'm wondering is
Most of them don't make shit.
okay, until you get to like the Mayweather, like where they're like you're gonna make like, you know,
You got to be able to
like-
sell fights.
like 10 figures.
You have to be able to
11
sell
figure.
fights.
Okay, so you get into the pay per view, so you get the top 1% of the 1% of the 1% or whatever. But I guess what I'm wondering is like, because there is MMA and because there is wrestling, you're kind of like siphoning off like some of the voter base. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like there's. Whereas if you're gonna watch basketball, it's the only thing that's like basketball. If you're watching football, it's really the only thing like football and baseball. You know what I mean? So I look at like the top 10,
you're saying,
the
like,
top 10
wrestling
sports
and-
in the top 10 sports in America. Boxing isn't on it.
Oh, definitely. I know that.
But isn't that crazy? Like I would think that it would
I
be
agree that it's crazy, but I also
But-
immediately understand why.
but wrestling's 8, and then you got the
I mean,
story.
wrestling's
and,
big. Wrestling's
But
big.
you got story. It's like the NASCAR of sport. Well, you know.
Wrestling is big, and it's
guess
like
NASCAR is a
it's
sport.
evergreen. Everybody has like wrestling memories, and then like it's something that's always going to be popular with kids and shit like that. So wrestling will always be around, but it's also all the wrestling fans are gonna be mad. It's not a sport.
But that's why I'm like motorsports is 9, and it's right below wrestling and WWE.
So
But
I
it- but
get
it's- But
motorsports
it packages all of them, whereas like boxing isn't in like physical sport, like beating the shit out
because
of
it
each other
is
sport.
different from MMA, which is different from like.
But we're talking about like
karate.
laying. I'm talking about throwing hands. Why isn't there like a throwing hands sport?
I mean, there
Like-
is.
But no, I mean like a category. Well, I mean, I guess I would see it. I would say it's like it'd be higher if it was packaged the way motorsports.
Sure, but like
is-
they all have like different promotions and shit
Is
like that,
motorsports
right?
can include like it's like biking and like where
like MotoGP,
but also water sports like
assume it's
weird ass like jet ski.
F1.
Is there jet ski in that or not?
I don't know.
Okay, anyway, whatever.
I assume that when they say motorsports, they're talking about like F1, NASCAR.
Oh, okay.
MotoGP.
But probably water because it's also
Maybe it
okay,
also
whatever.
has a motor,
Okay.
but I don't know.
All right.
What are the top 10?
We got American football,
Football.
baseball, basketball, hockey.
Baseball's more popular than basketball.
Baseball apparently in 2021 is more popular in America than
Okay.
basketball, which is more popular than hockey,
Shocked.
soccer, tennis, golf,
I'm shocked.
wrestling, motorsports, and then motherfucking badminton is above boxing.
All right,
Baseball is really fun to play.
it's really
Now, to
fun to
watch-
go to. It's probably
fun to
the
just sit
best
there and
live
just-
sport.
Really?
Baseball is the best.
Because it
live.
just lasts for there's a long time.
It
You
is
watch
the
somebody.
best. I've been to football
I don't know
games.
about the
I've
best
been.
live
Really?
sport,
It
but
just seems
I
like-
it.
All right,
I
so
do like
you've been to a live baseball game?
Yeah, I have.
You've been to a live basketball game?
I have.
You've been to a live football game?
I have.
So think about this shit. Live basketball sucks depending on where you're sitting. I'd rather watch it on TV,
Okay.
right?
Whereas baseball is specifically designed for the fan to sit there and watch it, and have every seat in the house is pretty much.
Yep.
It's gonna be pretty good.
Football similar, but it's slow. Now baseball is also slow.
Baseball is the slowest thing you can.
So slow.
Unless you're talking about golf.
So I'd say it's very close between football and baseball. But the reason why I would give baseball the edge is I guess I just don't live in a football city. I'd probably care more if I did. Other than the Longhorns, I'm not, no diss.
Yeah.
Yeah,
No diss,
you
no
right.
diss.
You don't live in a football city. Don't bring them up because
But
they don't get W's no more like that.
no
so-
more. But I'm saying like I'm talking about like pro football, like NFL football. Like we don't live in a city with a football team, right?
This isn't
Like,
Dallas. It's not.
if we lived in
Houston.
Dallas or Houston,
Yeah.
it might be we might feel differently. You know what I
We'll
mean?
still have
Yeah,
a
dude,
we'll
the
still have a
Sox are
losing.
fucking-
Yeah.
We would still have a
Thank
losing
you.
team.
Thank you.
We would still have a losing team, and there would be nothing. Basically, let's just give it to baseball. I love baseball, bro.
Baseball is
Yeah.
dope
I
live.
play more baseball.
Baseball is
as a
dope
kid,
live.
Actually.
as a kid, baseball was the best sport I ever
You
played.
can
Very
just
fun.
chill real hard and then get there and just like fucking knock it out and
Yeah.
then just go back to chilling again.
Different
And
kind of
just space the
camaraderie.
fuck out.
Yeah.
And then just hang out and eventually you get Gatorade or something.
Yeah,
Facts.
and then like it's just a good vibe, bro. Like baseball is a good vibe, bro.
Yeah.
It's like a tailgating vibe.
Yeah.
When you're in the game though, like or when you're in the
chill.
dugout chilling, like, oh, it's your turn to bat. I gotta do good, you know. But it ain't no like
Yeah.
it ain't no real stress with baseball. Like it wasn't for me. Like it was just a fun game to play with my friends and my brothers. So yeah, like baseball is up there. But I'm just talking about like professional baseball, like to watch it on TV or something. Like
Watching it on
that's
TV
tough.
is very
That's
tough. I
tough.
can't
You will
watch
be
a
there
I cannot
all
watch a baseball
day.
game on TV.
Maybe it kind of plays
Can't
into
do it.
what you're talking about as being a player. You're sitting in the dugout, just like chilling. There was no fucking. Okay, we're hanging out. You're not reading a book. There's no phone. There was no TV around. You just sat there and just like had your mind clear.
You watch
you were
the
gonna,
game. You talking to your people.
Yeah, you just kind of hung out to this person your left and maybe the one further. I don't know. I think maybe there's like a shared weird meditation when you're like there live that you're not really doing on your couch. Like that's just a skip on MPA, like MLB
I feel
Live.
that.
Like why would
For
you
me,
watch that?
I
People
always
watch
feel
that?
like the only parts of football games that I enjoy live are all the parts that are not the game.
Oh, I see.
Like I love tailgating.
Yeah.
I love like, you know, being in the stands with like the other fans and like talking shit to people.
But not
and, like,
movies and not
just
music.
being
Well,
hype and shit like that. Like shit is lit.
It is.
It's lit. But watching the game itself is not tight to me if I'm not watching it on television.
Okay.
Football. Baseball is, for some reason.
I mean, I'm gonna agree with you on that because I went to a football game. I mean, keep in mind they lost horribly. I went to a Texans game and they were playing the Steelers. We already know the end of that.
Yeah.
But
Yeah. Wait, what year?
basically, Antonio Brown was still playing for them.
All right.
We already know the end of that.
Yeah.
Shoot, but
Nah, I feel you on that. But if I go back to boxing,
okay.
I think it's like you were saying. It is hard for the casual fan to get into because it is slow. The same way it is hard for the casual fan to get into something like soccer or baseball because they are slow.
I actually like watching soccer though. I can't even cap.
I'm recently getting into it, but
That's
I
pretty
also made a legitimate effort to get into it. You feel what I'm
but
saying?
Yeah. I'm not gonna cap like I just watch a soccer game by myself, but if somebody invited me, I would watch a soccer game and I would be
Fun.
entertained.
It's like watching football.
Yeah.
He's not trying to sound thirsty, but he wants somebody to invite him to a soccer game.
Yeah.
We got a team now.
A bad
Shit.
Latino.
Like somebody.
Yeah. Fucking right. All of them. Everybody in Central America.
I
You
can't.
feel me?
Introduce me to soccer, to football, to
Put me
football,
on. Explain the shit. Let
please.
me know. Who's your team? El Salvador?
Me gusta.